Night falls fast, and heavy snow blocks the view outside your remote cabin window. You're likely to be stuck there until conditions improve. How do you ensure you walk out safely? First, stay calm. Assess what supplies you have: non-perishable food, water, a reliable heat source, and any medical essentials. Ensure these are in ample supply. For drinking water, melt snow over your stove or fire instead of consuming it directly to avoid hypothermia risks from cold water intake. Check local guidelines on trapping small game sustainably if hunting is needed. Remember that seasons, methods, and species restrictions apply even in emergencies. If fishing, know the legal rules for ice fishing before you start. Keep your cabin well insulated with layers and curtains to retain heat efficiently. Stay dry. Wet clothing can quickly lead to hypothermia, so change into dry clothes if yours gets wet from cooking or any activity near an open flame. If you leave the cabin to signal for help, take precautions against exposure. Always inform someone of your plans before venturing out in snowy conditions. Lastly, never eat wild plants, berries, nuts, or mushrooms without consulting a field guide or expert. They can be deadly even if they look familiar or edible. Stay safe and informed until rescue arrives. First things first, stay calm. Panic can be deadly in survival situations, as it impairs judgment and increases your metabolic rate, causing you to use up energy reserves more quickly. Stay focused and prioritize your needs, starting with ensuring you have proper shelter and warmth. The cold is a serious threat, but by staying calm and methodical, you can make the right decisions to stay safe. Here's the deal: you need to stay warm, hydrated, and fed while waiting for rescue. Prioritize keeping your cabin well sealed against the cold with proper insulation. Always purify any snow or water collected before drinking to avoid pathogens. Keep an eye on your supplies and use them wisely. If you must venture out, wear layers and be cautious of hypothermia and dehydration. Remember to check local laws for emergency trapping, hunting, or fishing if you run low on food. Check the roof first for accumulated snow, as it can rapidly become too heavy and cause structural failure. If you notice any weak spots or areas that look like they might cave in, use sturdy materials such as extra boards or furniture to prop them up and reinforce these sections. Always be cautious and prioritize safety by using appropriate tools and materials. Next, fortify your shelter inside. Close off any gaps where cold air can sneak in by sealing around doors and windows with blankets or heavy clothing. Insulation is key to conserving heat and preventing hypothermia. Remember, if you're stranded for an extended period, it's crucial to maintain body warmth. Exposure to extreme cold can lead to serious health risks quickly. Now find a way to stay warm. Start by building up an insulating layer under you. Pile down jackets, sleeping bags, and extra clothes on the floor where you'll be resting. This is your base. Never sit directly on cold ground. It can quickly lead to hypothermia. Ensure you have adequate insulation between you and any cold surfaces to maintain body heat effectively. Layer up with thick wool or fleece clothing over top. Wear multiple thin layers rather than a single bulky one to trap more air and retain heat better. If you feel chilly, add another layer instead of turning on the heater. Moving around generates body warmth, so stay active but avoid sweating since wet clothes lose heat rapidly. Always maintain dry insulation for safety against hypothermia in cold environments. And don't forget, your head is a significant source of heat loss, so always wear a hat or beanie when you're outside in the cold to retain body heat and prevent hypothermia. Keep in mind that staying warm also means conserving energy and resting indoors as much as possible during extreme weather conditions. Speaking of heat, if you've got wood for a fire, use it wisely to warm the air inside, but be cautious. If there's any risk of sparks igniting the cabin, play it safe and avoid open flames entirely. Instead, try using hand warmers or electric heaters if your power holds up long enough. Always remember to check local laws regarding fire safety and ensure you have a reliable smoke detector in place. Now let's talk water. Snow might look like an easy source, but don't be fooled. Eating snow straight from outside can quickly lower your body temperature and increase the risk of hypothermia and dehydration. If you need to melt snow for drinking water, do it over low heat on the stove if possible. In daylight, a makeshift solar still can also work as an alternative method. Always remember to conserve your dwindling supplies. Every drop counts. Additionally, ensure you follow local laws and regulations regarding water collection in such situations. As for food, rely on any canned goods and non-perishables in your pantry. Be careful opening frozen cans, lids can be tricky. Consume these regularly to maintain energy levels. For quick snacks without the need for cooking, opt for dried fruit, nuts, or granola bars. Remember, always positively identify wild plants with expert help or field guides before consuming anything you forage. Laws and seasons also govern hunting, fishing, and trapping in your area. Always check local regulations. But here's the key: don't overeat. In cold weather, your body requires fewer calories for warmth when you're not physically active, but those calories should be nutrient-dense to maintain energy and health. Pace yourself by eating regular, small meals high in fats and proteins, which provide better insulation and longer-lasting energy than carbohydrates or sugars. Always ensure any wild food is positively identified as safe to eat with absolute certainty, and follow local laws regarding foraging. And let's not forget, you're likely stuck for days. Boredom and cabin fever can quickly take hold. Stay mentally active with books, games, or by journaling your experiences to maintain high morale, which is absolutely essential. Remember, if you need resources beyond what you have in the cabin, always check local laws before considering any wild foraging or hunting. Now listen close, this is the real test. If your supplies start to run low, whether it's food, water, or fuel for heat, your best move isn't to risk going out in a blizzard. Stay put and wait until conditions improve. You've got what you need right here. However, make sure to conserve your resources wisely and consider learning survival skills, such as finding safe sources of snowmelt water for drinking, identifying edible plants, but only with absolute certainty through expert guidance or field guides, and knowing how to efficiently generate heat from available materials without depleting your stockpile. Remember, it's crucial to know local laws regarding resource use in emergency situations, and never assume that any wild food is safe to eat unless positively identified by an expert. But keep an eye on your gear too. Check batteries regularly to ensure they're not running low, and make sure flashlights have working bulbs. If you rely on cell service or satellite communication for help, ensure these devices are fully charged and easily accessible. Your phone could be a critical lifeline out of this situation, but remember that relying solely on electronic devices is risky. Always have backup plans like learning basic survival skills and knowing local emergency numbers by heart. Here's a hard rule: no matter how tempting it is to use an emergency signal flare, wait until absolutely necessary. Flares can start dangerous fires, especially during winter when conditions are dry under the snowpack or when windy conditions exist. So reserve flares for true emergencies only. Always be cautious with any ignition sources in snowy environments due to potential hidden dry fuel and unpredictable wind patterns. Now let's talk about emergency exit plans. If you have a way out when the weather clears up, know exactly how to get there safely by marking your route on a map and leaving clear markers along it. And if you do decide to venture outside, go with another person or at least inform someone in the cabin of your exact location and intended return time. Always check local weather forecasts and ensure compliance with any relevant safety guidelines and regulations before venturing out. But here's what keeps you alive: staying calm and methodical. The biggest mistake people make is acting on instinct without thinking things through. So take your time, plan your moves carefully, and move deliberately. Remember to positively identify any wild plants or fungi before consuming them, as deadly lookalikes are common. Always follow local laws regarding hunting, trapping, and fishing seasons and protected species, even in an emergency situation. Additionally, ensure you have a reliable method for purifying water, as untreated snow or ice can carry harmful pathogens. Dry wood burns well and is essential for maintaining a fire. Wet or damp wood can be difficult to ignite and sustain, potentially hampering your efforts to keep warm. A small, controlled fire stays hotter longer than a large one, conserving fuel while effectively heating the cabin. Keep your cabin at a comfortable temperature, but avoid overheating. Sweating in cold conditions can lead to rapid dehydration and chill you further when you stop moving or the sweat evaporates. And remember, the cold is relentless. Hypothermia and frostbite are real dangers in extreme conditions. But with a solid plan, staying dry, conserving body heat, and using proper shelter, you can stay safe and comfortable. Always be prepared by checking local weather forecasts before heading into remote areas. So here's what keeps you alive in a snowed-in situation: a clear head, steady hands, and smart moves. First things first, stay calm to avoid unnecessary panic or exhaustion. Next, ensure your shelter is secure against the elements. Reinforce windows, doors, and any gaps where cold air can enter. Check that your heating source is functioning properly, but also be aware of fire hazards in a confined space. Stock up on food and water. Don't forget to purify any snow or untreated water you melt for drinking. Keep an eye on weather updates if possible and signal for help when conditions are right. Remember, staying informed about local laws regarding emergency survival measures and seeking expert advice on plant identification is crucial. Well, stay safe. This is educational only. Foraging, hunting, fishing, and identifying plants and mushrooms carry real risks and are governed by local laws and seasons. Always verify plant and animal IDs with an expert or field guide, follow your local regulations, and never eat anything you can't 100% identify. When it's dark outside, keep a candle or small oil lamp handy. Light is crucial for morale and visibility, but remember to vent smoke properly. Don't suffocate yourself in the process. Stay dry. Wet clothes can rapidly drain your body heat, increasing the risk of hypothermia. If you need to change out of wet gear, do so near a source of warmth like the fire, and immediately wrap yourself in warm, dry blankets until completely dry. Remember, staying warm and dry is crucial for survival in cold environments. Food is less urgent than staying warm but still vital. Use stored food wisely. Canned goods are excellent for nutrition without requiring cooking, helping to conserve fuel. Prioritize high-calorie foods like nuts, seeds, and meat for energy, ensuring you have enough sustenance to stay active and generate body heat efficiently. Remember that foraging or hunting for additional food is subject to local laws and seasons, so only do so if you are certain it's legal and safe in your area. Water becomes increasingly critical as you spend more days in the cabin. While snow can be melted for water, eating it raw isn't safe. Melting snow gradually over a fire prevents shock from icy temperatures.